Yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it is us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted to one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wiser sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress of this warlike state, have we as 12 of a defeated joy, one auspicious and one dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighed delight and dole taken to wife. Nor have we here in bard your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along. For all our friends. And now, Laertes, what is the news of you? You told us of some suit. What is, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and loose your voice. What wast thou beg, Laertes? The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth than the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My lord, my dread lord, your leave and favour to return to France, for when so willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation, yet now, that duty done, I must confess my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France.
Have you your father's leave? What saith Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair ire, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet, and thy son.
Little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord, I am too much of the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy knighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lid seek thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular to thee?
Seems, madam. Nay, it is, I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, no, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected haviour of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shows of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are action that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show, these but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father, but you must know your father lost a father. That father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. Fight is a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still have cried from the first course till he that died today, this must be so. We pray you, through to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, beg you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay here with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Come away.
Everlasting and not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God. How weary, stale, flat and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Oh, fine. 'Tis It's an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this, Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth must I remember. Why, she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month I will not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears. Why, she, even she. God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, she married. Oh, wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Prince Hamlet! Hail to your lordship!
I am glad to see thee well. Horatio! Oh, I do forget myself.
The same, and I'm your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. What make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? We'll teach you to drink deep, ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
Oh, I pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage table. Would I'd met my dearest foe in heaven, or ere I'd seen that day, Horatio. My father... Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw your father once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man taken for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, methinks I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father?
Season your admiration awhile with attendant ear, while I may deliver this marvel unto you.
For God's love, let me hear.
In the dead vast and middle of the night, a figure like your father appears before me and goes slow and stately by. I knew your father! These hands are not more like.
Then saw you not his face?
Aye, my lord, he wore his beaver up.
What, looked he frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer gave it none. Yet methinks once it did lift up its head and address itself to motion as if it would speak. But even then the morning cock did crow loud, and at the sound the spirit did shrink in haste away and vanish from my sight.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, 'tis true, my lord.
Would I had been there.
It would have much amazed you.
Perchance to walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it. Though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy is assistant, do not sleep. But let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favour, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primary nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more, but so.
Think it no more. Perhaps he loves you now. But you must fear, his greatness weighed, his will is not his own. Fear it, dear sister, fear it, Ophelia, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance tread, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long up, but here my father comes.
Yet here, Laertes. Aboard, for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these few precepts. In thy memory look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought is act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. Give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Costly thy habit, as thy purse can buy, but not steeped in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you. Go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
I am told he hath very oft of late given you a private time, and you yourself, with your audience, have been both free and bounteous. I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behoves my daughter and your honour. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection toward me.
Affections! Ah! You talk like a green girl unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby, that you have ta'en his tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, eh? Or, not to crack the wind of the poor phrase, wronging it thus, you'll tender me, a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honourable fashion.
Aye, fashion, you may call it. Go to, go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springes to catch woodcocks. I do know, when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. But these blazes, daughter, you must not take for fire. From this time, be somewhat scanter with your maiden presence. Set your entreatment at a higher rate. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words and talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look you to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and eager air.
What hour now?
Look, my lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thy intents wicked or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet. King, father, royal Dane. Answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonised bones hearsed in death have burst their cerements. Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Mark me, my hour is almost come when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
Now, Hamlet, hear. 'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me, so the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know thou, noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, or unto his shameful lust the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle's stall, with juice of cursed heaven on inner vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment whose effect had such an enmity with blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigour deposit and curd like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, and once dispatched, cut off, even in the blossoms of my sin, no reckoning made, but sent to my account, with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible! Most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not! Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, take not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. Adieu, adieu. Hamlet, remember me.
Oh, all you host of heaven, oh earth, what else shall I couple hell? Fie, hold my heart, and you my sinews grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee, aye, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all sores of books, all forms, all pressures past, that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Oh, most pernicious woman! Oh, villain, smiling, damned villain! The one may smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is adieu. Adieu, remember me. I've swamped.
What news, my lord?
Wonderful.
Good my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, by heaven, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret.
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark. But he's an arrant knave.
There needs not a ghost come from the grave to tell us this, my lord.
Why, right, you are in the right. And therefore, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. I, for my own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you heartily, yes. Faith, heartily.
There is no offence, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offence too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. For your desire to know what is between us, oh, master it as you may, and now, good friend, give me one poor request.
Say it, my lord, we will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My good lord, I will not.
Nay, but swear it.
Swear!
Sayest thou so?
Day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, that you at such time seeing me, never shall note that you know aught of me, this not to do, so grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear!
Swear! I swear!
Rest! Rest, perturbed spirit. Good friend, with all my love I do commend me to you. And what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friending to you, God willing, shall not lack. Still your fingers on your lips, I pray. Time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite. Never I was born to set it right.
What's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
With what, in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my chamber, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, stockings fouled, ungartered and down-guided to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport, as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and he held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow he forced such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he loosed a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head o'er his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love. I'm sorry. What? Have you given any harsh words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did request, I did deny his fetters and repelled his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. Come, go we to the king. This must be known, which being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? What it should be more than his father's death, that thus have put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both to draw him unto pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good gentleman, he hath much talked of you, and sure am I there are not two men living to whom he more adheres. To the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits the king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power that you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey and here give up ourselves.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern, and gentle Rosencrantz.
The ambassadors from Norway, my lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I hold my duty as I hold my soul. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the course of policy so sure as it hath used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that I do long to hear. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found a hidden source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is nothing but the main. His father's death and our over-hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift him.
My liege and madam, to expostulate. What majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time, time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is it but to be nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. I have a daughter, well, she is mine, who, in her duty and obedience, hath given me this. Now, gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase. That's a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase. But you shall hear thus. In her excellent white bosom, these, etc.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love, most dear lady, thine evermore, Hamlet. This in her obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man, faithful and honourable.
I would fain prove so. But what might you think, when I had seen this hot love on the wing, as I perceived it, I precept gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, she took the fruits of my advice. And he, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then to a fast, then to a watch, thence to a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein he now raves, and which all we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be, very like.
Hath there been such a time? I'd fain know that. When I said positively 'tis so, and it proved otherwise.
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if this prove otherwise. As circumstances lead me, I will find truth where it be hid, though it be hid indeed within the centre.
How shall we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks for hours together here in the lobby.
He does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind the arras then. Mark the encounter.
But look now, where the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I beseech you both, away. I'll board him presently. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God a mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent well. You are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord.
Aye, sir. To be honest as this world goes is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a god kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter might conceive. Friend, look to it.
What say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. And yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He's far gone, far gone. Yet, truly, in my youth I suffered much extremity for love. Very near this. I'll talk to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words. Words. Words.
What's the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slanders, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have grey beards, that their faces are wrinkled, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down.
Though this be madness, yet there's method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that is, out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. I will leave him now, and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My lord, I will take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all. Except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Farewell, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
My honoured lord.
My most dear lord! How does one gild and so broken? What's the news?
Oh, no, my lord, but that the world has grown honest.
Then it's doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What of you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's the prison.
Then is the world one.
A goodly one, which there are many confines, wards and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why, then 'tis none to you. For there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why then, your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh, God. I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I had bad dreams. But no such matter. In the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Were you not sent for? Was it your own inclining? It's a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
You must teach me. Be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you. This brave, o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire. Why, it appears no other thing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapours. What a piece of work is a man, how noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither. Though by your smiling you seem to say so.
No, there was no such stuff in my thoughts, my lord.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not a man, what Lenten entertainment shall the players receive from you? We coached them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
Players? What players are they?
My lord, the tragedians of the city, those that you took delight so often to see.
You are welcome to Elsinore. Come, your hands. You are welcome. But my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Buzz.
Upon mine honour.
Oh, then came each actor on his ass.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, comical, historical, pastoral, scene, individable, or poem.
You are welcome, I'm glad to see thee well. Come, we'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. 'Twas Aeneas's tale to Dido, and thereabout of it especially, where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. The hellish Pyrrhus old grandsire Priam seeks. So, proceed you.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam dries, yet in rage strikes wide. But with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then, senseless Ilium, seeming to fill this blow, with flaming top stoops to its base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear, who, for lo, his sword, which was declining upon the milky head of reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So, as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter did nothing. But, as we often see, against some storm, a silence in the heaven. The rack stands still, the bold wind speechless, and the orb below as hushed as death. Anon, the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So, after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armour, forged from proof etern, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam! Out! Out, thou strumpet fortune!
This is too long.
It shall to the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on. Come to Hecuba.
Oh, but who? Oh, who did see the mobled queen?
That's good. Mobled queen is good.
Run barefoot, up and down, threatening the flames with besom ruin. A clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all o'er teeming loins a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue in venom, steeped 'gainst fortune's state, would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamour that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would make milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
Look, whether he hath not turned his colour and has tears in his eyes, I prithee, no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear me? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time.
My lord, I will use them according to their deserts.
God's bodykins, man, much better. Take them in.
Go on, sir.
Follow him, my lord. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines that I would set down in certain, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that, lord. And look you mock him not. My good friends, I will leave you until night. Oh, you're welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
Aye, so God be with you.
And you.
Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his whole conceit that from her working all his visage wand, tears in's eyes, distraction's aspect, a broken voice, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cue for passion I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty, appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears, while I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like John o' Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Swoons, I should take it. For it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered, and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal about my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures, sitting at a play, have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. The murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous order. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. Spirit I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. And plays the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from him why he puts on this confusion?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof.
Did he receive you well?
Almost like a gentleman.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia, and gather by him, as he is behaved, if be the affliction of his level noted, thus he suffers for.
I shall obey. And for your part, Ophelia, I do hope that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall your virtues bring him to his wonted way again. To both your honours.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so it please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read you on this book, that a show of such an exercise might colour your loneliness. I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord. How does your honour for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well, well, well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honoured lord, you know right well you did. And with them, words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind.
Are you honest?
My lord.
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner translate honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty will transform beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
Should not have believed me, I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, and yet I could accuse me of such things. It were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offences at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between earth and heaven? We are arrant knaves all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in's own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. To a nunnery, go, farewell. Or, if thou wilt need marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too, farewell.
Restore him, you heavenly powers.
I've heard your paintings too well enough. God gives you one face and you paint yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp, and nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to, I'll no more. It hath made me mad! I say we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all save one shall live. The rest will keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Lord, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, o'er which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent I have a quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speech to England of the demand of our neglected tribute. Happily, it is seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts in thus and fashion of himself. What think you on it?
It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The soldiers, courtiers, scholars, aye. The expectancy and rose of the fair state. The glass of fashion and the mould of form. The observed of all observers, quite down. An eye of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see the noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh. Her unmatched feature and form of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me. To have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Horatio, there is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance of my father's death. I prithee observe mine uncle, for mine eyes will rivet to his face. Then after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing and scape detecting, I will pay the theft.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Well, God a mercy. Of the chameleon's dish I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed capons so.
Have nothing for this answer, Hamlet. These birds are not mine.
No, not mine now. My lord, you played one from the university, you said?
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, they say upon your patience.
Hamlet, come hither. Sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Did you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
It's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
No thing.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I?
Aye, my lord.
Oh, God, you're only jig maker. What should a man do but be merry? And look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Nay, then let the devil wear black. I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heaven, died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet? Well, then there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year.
Faith, leave me here, and shortly too.
Oh, confound the rest. Such love needs be treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first?
Wormwood, wormwood.
A second time I'll kill my husband dead, if second husband kisses me in bed. Sleep, rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady protests too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offence in it?
No, they do but jest. Poison in jest, no offence in the world.
What do you call the play?
The mousetrap. Marry how? Tropically. Gonzago is the Duke's name. His wife Baptista. This is the image of a murder done in Vienna. 'Tis a knavish piece of work. But what of that, you and your Majesty and we that have free souls, it touches us not. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king. He poisons him in the garden for his estate. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
What, frightened with false
Give me some
fire?
light!
How fast, my lord!
Give over the play!
Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning.
I did very well note him.
Come, some music. Come, the recorders. Come, some music.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The queen your mother in most great affliction of spirit have sent me to you.
Oh, she says your admiration struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, most wonderful son that can so astonish a mother.
She desires to speak with you in her closet.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you did once love me.
Aye, so I do still by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is the cause of your distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be? How can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern the ventages with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath, with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
What cannot I command is to any utterance of harmony? I have not the skill.
Why, look you then, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me, you would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery, you would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak. Blood! Do you think I am easy to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can pet me, yet you cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir.
My lord, the Queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in shape as a camel?
By the mass. And it is like a camel, indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Oh, very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. Now is the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business that the day would quake to look on.
I like him not, nor stands it safe of us to let his madness rage. Therefore prepare you.
We will haste us.
My lord, he is going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras there, I'll convey myself. To hear the process, I'll warrant she'll tax him home. I will call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know.
Thanks, dear my lord. Oh, my offence is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal elder's curse upon't a brother's murder. Pray, can I not, though inclination be sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause, for I shall first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were made thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Where to, sirs, mercy, but to confront the visage of offence? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I look up, my fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, and my own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offence. In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shaft my justice, and not to see the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled even by the teeth and forehead of our faults to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it, when one cannot repent? O wretched state! O bosom black as death! O lying soul that struggling to be free art more engaged! Help, angels! make essay, bow stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel, be soft as the sinews of a newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it, Pat? Now he is praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven. And so am I revenged. This would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven. This is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown as flush as May, and how his audit stand, who knows save heaven. But in our circumstance and course of thought 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged? To take him in the purging of his soul when it is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword. Know thou a more horrid hent, when he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in't, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul be as black and damned as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
He will come straight. I'll silence me even here. Pray you be round with him.
I'll warrant you, fear me not.
Mother!
Withdraw.
Mother!
I hear him coming.
Mother! Now, Mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, you speak with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Have you forgot me?
No, by the rood not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and, would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay then, I'll set those to you that can.
Come, sit you down, you shall not budge. You go not till I hold you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me? Help! Help!
Help! Help! Help! Help!
Dead!
Hamlet, no!
Oh! I am slain!
Now!
Alas, what hast thou done?
No, I know not. Is it the king?
What a rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed? Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, madam, 'twas my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool! Farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune, thou findest to be too busy in some danger. Leave wringing of your hands, please sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall if it be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the blister from the forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dice's oaths.
I mean, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look you here. upon this picture and on this. The counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this bough, Hyperion's curls. The front of Jove himself, and I, like Mars to threaten and command, a combination and a form indeed where every god did seem to set his seal to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you, on this fair mountain, leave to feed and batten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love. For at your age the heyday in the blood is tame, it's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? What devil was't that thus hath cozened you at Hoodman blind? Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling songs all but a sickly part of one true sense could not so mope. Shame, where is thy blush?
Oh, Hamlet, no more. You have turned my eyes into my very soul, where I see such black and granite spots as will not leave their tint. No more, sweet Hamlet.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
No more, sweet Hamlet, these words are like daggers in mine ears. No more.
A murderer, and a villain, a slave that is not 1/20th part the tithe of your precedent lord.
No more.
A king of shreds and patches. Oh, save me, and hover over me with your wings, you heavenly gods. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he is mad.
Have you not come your tardy son to chide that, lapsed in time and passion, lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Say!
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet my almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you, my son, that you do cast your eyes on vacancy, and with incorporeal air do hold discourse? Oh, gentle son, upon the very flame of thy distempered sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him! Do not look upon me!
Who do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing.
Nor did
Yet all that is I see.
you nothing here?
Nothing but ourselves.
Why, look you there, look! My father! In his habit as he lived! Why, look! There he goes, even now, out of the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy. My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time, and makes as healthful music. It is not madness I have uttered. Oh, mother, for love of grace, may not that flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass but my madness speaks? It will but skin and film the ulcerous placed, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Then throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Once more, good night. When you are desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. For this same lord I do repent. But heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this and this with me, that I may be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. One word more, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this. By no means that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you once again to bed. Pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reachy kisses or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers make you to ravel all this matter out, that I am essentially not in madness, but mad in craft. 'Twere good you let him know.
Rest assured, if words were breath, and breath was life, I have no words left to say what thou hast said to me. Oh.
I must to England. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the sea and the wind when both contend which is mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the arras hearing something stir, draws his dagger, and in his brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy. Now, Hamlet, where is Polonius?
At supper.
At supper? Where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are e'en at him.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with a worm that hath eat of a king, and eat off the fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost you mean by this?
Nothing. But to show you how a king may go the progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send hither to see. If your messenger find him not there, look you in the other place yourself. Ah, indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay till he come.
Hamlet, this deed, for thine especial safety, which we do tender, as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence. So prepare thyself. The bark is ready, the wind at help, the sluice it's turned, and everything is bent for
England.
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it if thou knewest our purposes?
I see a cherub that sees them. But come for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife is one flesh, and so, my mother. Come. For England!
And England, if our love thou host adored, pays homage to us. Thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which in parts at full by letters conjuring to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me till I know 'tis done. Howe'er my haps, my joys were ne'er begun.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die. To sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die. To sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns, the patient merit that the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of? Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action.
The beauteous majesty of Denmark.
How now, Ophelia?
How should I your true love know from another one? By your cockle hat and staff and your sandal shine.
Sweet lady, what imports this song?
Say you nay, pray you mark. He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his head a grass green turf, at his heels a stone.
Nay, but Ophelia.
Pray you, mark! White his shroud as the mountain stone.
Alas, look here, my lord.
Flooded with sweet flowers, which belonged to his grave, did not go with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God ill to you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but we know not what we may be. God be at your table.
Conceit upon her father.
Pray you, let's have no more of this, but when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning be time, and I made your chamber door to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and doffed the chamber door. Let in the maid that out and maid never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
Ah, indeed, loud without mirth, I'll make an end on it. By gifts and by charity, alack and by for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it, by cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I had done by yonder sun, and thou hast not come to my bed.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. Yet I cannot choose but weep to think they should lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it, and so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach! Good night, ladies, good night, sweet ladies, good night, good night.
Follow her close, give her good watch, I pray you. Ha! This is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First her father slain.
Where is the king?
Alack, what noise is this?
Oh, thou vile king!
Calmly, lads, calmly!
Where is my father?
Dead!
But not by him!
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiances! Foul to the blackest devil! I dare damnation! To this point I stand! Let come what come! Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father!
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father's death, it's written in your revenge. That swoop stake you will drop both friend and foe, winner and loser.
None but his enemies.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman, that I am guiltless of your father's death, and most sensible in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment, peers, as day does to your eye.
How now? What noise is that? Ophelia! Kind sister.
Saw him barefaced on here. Hey no nani, hey nani, hey nani. And from his grave bring fled his tear. Fare you well, dove. There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. And there's pansies. That's for thoughts.
A documented madness. Thoughts and affliction fitted.
There's fennel for you. And there is columbine. And here is rue for you. We may call it Her Grace of Sundays. You must wear your rue with a difference. Here, take some daisies. I would give you some violets, but they all withered when my father died. And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no. He is dead. He is dead. He will not come again. His beard is white as snow. All flaxen was his poll. He is gone. He is gone. God have mercy on his soul. And all Christian souls, I pray, God be with you.
You see this, oh God!
Now must your conscience my quittance seal, and you must put me in your heart for a friend. Sith, you shall hear, and with a knowing ear, that Hamlet hath thy noble father slain.
And so have I a noble father slain. A sister driven to desperate turns. But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps to that. You must not think that we are made of stuff so flat and dull, that we can let our beard be shook with danger and think it pastime. You shortly shall hear more. I love your father, and we love ourselves, and that I hope will teach you to him. How now, what news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet.
From Hamlet? Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet? From England? Or is it an abuse and no such thing?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character. Naked, and in a postscript here he says, alone. Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord. So you will not overrule me to a peace.
If he be now returned, I will work him to an exploit, now right under my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death, no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall add charge to practice and call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled.
What would you undertake? To show yourself your father's son indeed, more than in words.
To cut his throat to the church.
Revenge should have no bounds. But good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet returns shall know you are come home. Our portal knows, shall praise your excellence, bring you in fine together, and wager on your heads. He being most generous and free from all contriving will not peruse the foils. So that with these or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice requite him for your father.
I'll do it, and for that purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank. I'll touch my point with that contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this. If this should fail, let our drift look through our bad performance I had. When in your motion you were hot and dry, and that he calls to drink, I would have prepared him a chalice for the nuts, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom strife, our purpose may hold there. How now, sweet queen?
One woe doth tread upon another's heel. So fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Where?
There is a willow, grows aslant a brook, shows its hoar leaves into the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she make of crow's flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, which liberal shepherds do give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There on the pendant boughs, her coronet weeds clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down came her weedy trophies and herself into the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like a while they bore her up, during which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or that of a creature native or endued until that element. But long it could not be, until that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned! Drowned!
Too much of the water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. But I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze. But that this folly drowns it.
Let's follow Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage, now I fear this will give it start again. Therefore let's follow.
Methought it was very sweet to contract all the time, for oh my behold, oh methought there was nothing meet.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
Is e'en so? The hand of little employment has the daintier sense. Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Mine, sir.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on, sir, and therefore it is not yours. For my part, I do not lie in't, and yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in't to be in't and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick, therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away going from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none neither.
Who's to be buried in't?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
Who's to be buried in't? How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that first day that the last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
Oh, how long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day young Hamlet was born. He that is mad sent him to England.
Aye, Mary. Why was he sent into England?
Because he is mad. He'll recover his wits there, or if he do not, it is no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There, the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely.
They think we're losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Here in Denmark.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
If he be not rotten before he dies, as with many pocky courses nowadays, he should last you some 8 year or 9 year. Here's a skull now. This skull has lain in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A wholesome mad fellow it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He pulled a flagon of Rhenish on me at once. This same skull, sir, was the king's jester, Yorick.
This?
And that.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Fellow of infinite jest, most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. Now, how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rims at it. They hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar. Not one now to mock your own grinning. Soft, but soft. Aside. Here comes the king. Who is this they follow?
Lay her i' the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violence spring. What ceremony else? What ceremony else? Must there no more be done?
No more be done. Her death was doubtful. We should profane the service of the dead, to sing a requiem of such rest to her, as to peace-parted souls.
I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
Sweets, for thy sweet, farewell. I hoped thou shouldst be my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bridal bed of debt, sweet maid, not to have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble woe! Full 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I've called her once more in mine arms. Now pile your dust upon the quick dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made, to our top, O Pelion!
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? Whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand as wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil takes thy soul!
Cry out asunder!
Peace, my good lord!
Well, I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
My son, what theme is this?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he's mad, Laertes.
In the name of God, forbear him.
Show me what thou'lt do. Would weep, would fight, Would fast, would tear thyself, drink up easel, eat a crocodile, I'll do it. Hast thou come here to whine? To outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I.
This is mere madness.
What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and the dog will have his day.
I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him. Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set a watch over your son. This grave shall be a living monument. And now as quiet shortly shall we see, till then in patience are preceding thee.
Horatio, I have words to speak in thine ear. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. There's a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them how we will.
That is most certain.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me, in the dark groped I to find out them. Had my desire fingered their packet, making so bold to unseal their grand commission, where I found, Horatio, royal knavery, an exact command that on the supervised, no leisure baited, no, not to stay the grinding of the axe, my head should be struck off.
Is't possible?
Here's the commission, read it at more leisure. Being thus benetted round with villainies, I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair, an earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, that on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further more or less, he should the bearers put to sudden death, not shriving time allowed.
Why, what a king is this?
It's not perfect conscience to quit him with this arm, and it's not to be damned to allow this canker of our nature to come in further evil.
It must shortly be known to him from England what is the issue of the business there.
It will be short. The interim is mine. In a man's life, no more than to say one.
Peace. Who comes here?
Your lordship. Your lordship is a right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir. Just know this, Waterfly.
Not I, my lord.
Your state is the more gracious.
Sweet lord, if your lordship have pleasure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all diligence of spirit. Put your bonnet to his right use, 'tis for the head.
I thank your lordship, it is very hot. Sir, he is newly come to court Laertes, believe me, an absolute gentleman of excellent differences, very soft society, and great showing. Indeed, to speak feelingly of him, he's the card, or calendar of gentry, for you shall find in him the continent of what part a gentleman would be.
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes?
Of him, sir.
You are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is at his weapon. Sirs, rap your dagger.
That's two of his weapons, but well.
The king, sir, had made that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. He had laid on 12 for 9, and it would come to immediate trial, if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, sir, is the opposition of your person entire?
Sir, I will walk here in the hall. Tell His Majesty 'tis the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought.
I command my duty to your lordship.
Yours. Yours.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been at continual practice. But I would not think how ill all's hear about my heart. But it is no matter.
If your mind dislike in it anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all, since no man knows aught of what he leaves, what is to leave betimes. Let be.
Hamlet, come and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong. But pardoned, as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done that might your nature and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness. Was Hamlet wrong Laertes? Never Hamlet. If Hamlet from himself be ta'en away, and when he is not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it then? His madness.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in my terms of honour I stand aloof, and shall know reconcilement, till by some elder masters of known honour I have a voice and precedent of peace to keep my name ungawed. But till that time I do receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it.
I will embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Give us the foils, come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Give them the foils, on Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace hath laid the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I've seen you both, but since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see the other.
This likes me well. These foils have all a length.
Aye, my good lord.
Set me the stoops of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup an union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cups, and let the kettle to the trumpet speak, the trumpet to the cannoneer without, the cannons to the heavens to earth. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
Good. Stand.
One!
No!
Judgment!
A hit, a very powerful hit.
Well, again!
There, give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health.
I'll play this bout first, set it by a while. Come!
Forward. Stance.
Another hit, what say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
Oh, he is fat and scant of breath. Hamlet, take a napkin, wipe thy brow. The queen carouses your fortune, Hamlet.
Oh, good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
Pardon me, my lord. I will.
It is the poisoned cup, it is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam, by and by.
Here, take this napkin, wipe thy brows.
My lord, I will hit him now.
I do not think so.
And yet it almost gates my conscience.
Come, Laertes, for the third. You but dally. I pray you pass me with your best violence. I am afraid you make a wanton of me.
Say you so. Come on!
Hold. Stance. No. Nothing.
Fine!
Nothing is obeyed.
How about you now?
They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord?
Look, there's a queen.
Why, like a woodcock to mine own spring, Joseph? I'm justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the queen?
She is wounds to see the bleed.
The drink, Hamlet, the drink. Oh, my sweet Hamlet, the drink. Poisoned.
Really? How? Let the doors be locked. Treachery, seek it out.
It is here, Hamlet! Hamlet, thou art friend. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument was in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
King. Poison. And venom too. And venom. I want.
Get this very friend!
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink off this potion. Thy union here. Follow my mother.
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. Oh, I am dead, Horatio. Wretched queen, adieu. Oh, had I but time. As this fell sergeant, death is strict in his arrest. Oh, I could tell you. But let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here, there's yet some liquor left.
Thou art a man, give me... Oh, good Horatio. What a wounded name. King standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story, the rest is silence.